How to learn words faster and improve your vocabulary. This is what I'm gonna talk about today. My name is Oliver, the craftiest language learner, and without further ado, let's get to the good stuff. Learn from the best. People who have a hand in changing the world, like Elon Musk, often set big goals and break them down into small bits. You can change the time frame, but let's say you want to learn 3,000 words in 1 month. If that seems like a lot to you, break it down into 30 days. That leaves you with learning 100 words per day. If that still seems like a lot, break it down into 5 hours, which leaves you with learning 20 words per hour. If it still seems like a lot, break it down into 60 minutes, which leaves you with learning 1 word in 3 minutes. Can you learn 1 word in the next 3 minutes from now? If the answer is yes, then you are a winner. Because even if you don't have 5 hours per day to study, you can still break down your 3,000 words goal into 5 months, which leaves you with learning 20 words per day. But the thing is, you see, if you use the right formula, you can learn these 20 words in less than 30 minutes. How? Secret number 2. If you just rub yourself off of 1 word for 3 minutes and then move on to the next one like a machine, it's likely you won't remember half of them. But if you learn all 20 words at once in the first 5 or 10 minutes and then work with them, make sentences, take a 5-minute break and then do it again for another 10 minutes, it's likely you will remember them better because of the practicality of this method and because of a 5-minute break, which creates a repetition. You see, our brains can't remember everything, but when we repeat something a few times, that sends a signal to our brain that says this is important. Put in extra effort to remember. If you're just starting out, I would first of all suggest that you learn 100 most common connection words. These will help you make sentences in the future so you can use this method. As you can see here, I have 2 columns of words, one with most common words and one with words I would study in a typical session. And this is a list of sentences that I've made with just these words alone. As you can see, the average question has at least 50% of most common words. What makes this technique special is that it allows you to learn words in a practical way, as you'll be working with them to make sentences. And 2, it gives you more time to practice if you learn them all at once in 5 minutes and then practice for the next 25 minutes. I suggest you learn the most essential words in your target language. For example, in Italian, I would focus more on the conjugation of words, because this is what I would use to refer to myself or to other tenses. What can you do to improve an already existent vocabulary? Play a fun game. Write a word in the target language and then write another word that starts with the letter in which the first word ended, as you can see in the example, and keep moving on. When playing this game, you'll never know which word you will need next. By practicing remembering words at random, you will reduce the response time in a conversation. In a conversation, you also never know which words you need next, and this game will help you improve your memory. Bonus tips. Number 1. Practice reading, writing, speaking, and listening at the same time. When you write, you automatically read. Your brain has to do that to make sure there are no errors, which is why it's so hard to write without looking down. And when you pronounce a word, your brain will also automatically process those sounds. So in essence, you have to speak out loud while writing, and the other 2 processes will be completed automatically. Number 2, learn words that you will actually use, not just random words, but the ones you need for your goal. Number 3, repeat. I suggest you repeat the words from last session before learning the new ones. This way you can practice the last group of words and prepare for the new group of words. Number 4, learn to accept ideas that do not make sense. For example, in Italian, there is the word avere, which means to have, but if I want to say I have to use a completely different word, which is confusing. But if you spend time thinking about this, you waste time in general. If you want to learn faster, you have to develop a skill of learning, practicing, and moving on. Number 5, forget about translation. After you learn about 1,000 words, instead of translating the words, look up the definition of that word online. You see, dictionaries are meant to be explanatory, which means they use simple words to express other words. So if you learn the most common words, you'll be able to understand the definitions. Number 6, read complex materials such as scientific papers. I know this doesn't make sense, but hear me out. Once you put more sugar in your tea, it's harder to go back to the normal amount of sugar because it feels like it doesn't have enough taste. Based on the smallest and the biggest quantities of something that we are exposed to, our brains determine what is a lot for us and what is not enough. Here's how this relates to learning words. When you read complex materials that include words like proportional, relatively, hypothesis, and then you go back to learning words like clothes, bread, left, they seem like they're much easier to learn. What happens is you give your brain a new definition of what is hard, and when you go back to simple words, it's much easier to learn them. Besides these secrets that show you how to learn words faster, there are 3 other ways through which I can help you learn a language faster for free. Number 1, I'm currently offering a free guide that shows you how to speak like a native and develop your listening skills, which you can access through a link in the description or at masteringlanguagesonline.com/guide. Number 2, if you've got a personal question or a struggle that you've been encountering in language learning, you can leave your questions in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Number 3, I constantly release new videos in which I share tips on how to learn a language faster. Once you subscribe to my channel, click that bell icon and join the Crafty Learning Revolution, you'll be notified of every valuable video that I put up for free. That's all for this video. My name is Oliver, the craftiest language learner, and I'll see you crafty learners in the next one.